These is some bum-ass ICE agents.
Oh, I'd say I'm reasonable.
Okay, that's completely unreasonable.
I'm reasonable.
I'm unreasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I have been.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate.
Fitting, suitable, logical.
All things I would definitely say describe me.
Do they describe you?
Welcome to Unreasonable with Zainab Johnson.
I'm reasonable.
Welcome to another episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. I am Zainab Johnson. How you guys doing today? Welcome back, Reasons. All the newbies, welcome in. Be reasonable, please. If I sound congested, it is because I am. If I sound nasally, it is because I am. I had all the cold and flu symptoms the past couple of days, and I am just now kind of getting back to myself. But I want to start this episode with a hard truth. I normally am looking at my desktop. Like when I'm in my office, I'm normally looking at my desktop if I need to reference like any notes for the podcast or whatever. And, just to keep myself like my thoughts on track, to try my best to keep my thoughts on track as much as I veer off a bunch. But today I got my laptop because I've been in the house working. And so I've had my laptop with me. And I forgot how fun it is to just sit in, like lay in a bed or wherever with your laptop in your lap and I haven't done that in a while. Like I don't know, I just come into my office when it's time to get on the computer, unless I'm on the road, anyway, whatever. So I want to start this episode with what some people might consider a hard truth. Yes, dramatic pause. And I'm taping early this morning because I have a dental appointment. Remember my tooth, y'all? What side? This side. I have a temporary there right now, but I'm going to get my replacement. And it was hurting last time. So I'm like, I might not be able to talk, when I come back from the dentist. First, I'm going to Pilates. Then I'm going to the dentist. Which I understand is very privileged. But should it be? Anywho, all right. So some people might hear this and think that it is that it's harsh, but it is the truth. It is so effed up. It's so effed up what is happening in Minnesota right now. As it is effed up, a lot of things, like it's effed up that a lot of things are happening around the world, right? So it's so effed up. For a week or 2 weeks ago, a woman by the name of Renee Nicole Good was murdered in her car by ICE agents. And then this past Saturday, I believe, a Minnesotan man by the name of Alex Preddy was murdered, shot at 10 times after he had already been disarmed, and he didn't even discharge his firearm. Like he didn't even attempt to use his firearm. But I was actually thinking about it because in my stand-up, I'm always like, guns kill people, and it's like, people kill people, and it's like, I'm starting to think like it is the people that kill people, because I've had a gun for 4 years and I ain't killed nobody. I know they both a problem. I know it's a combination of both. But Alex Preddy was killed. Apparently he was an ICU nurse. He worked for, veterans. He seemed to be a responsible citizen. And he was murdered at a peaceful protest. trying to help another woman who was also peacefully protesting, but she was thrown to the ground after being maced by a number of ICE agents. And him trying to help her up to the ground, they started macing him, push him down to the ground, discovered he had a firearm, removed the firearm from him, and then shot him 10 times. I've seen so many different videos and so many different angles. My friend, actually, we were talking last night, and he was like, did you see the ICE agent actually shot the guy's gun? And that is what made the other agent start shooting. And so when I watched the video, I'm like, no, this video doesn't explicitly say that to me, because I think that the editor edited this footage and provided that narrative, but there's no proof of that. Like, I see nothing coming out. Anyway. And then after it happened, and there was multiple videos showing exactly what happened. Then Kristi Noem, who is the head of the DOJ, gets online immediately, and she says, she starts reporting to outlets that he was a domestic terrorist, that Alex Preddy was a domestic terrorist, and that it was self-defense, but just a lot, like blatant lies, right? And so I'm actually just kind of giving you the facts that you may or may not already know. But naturally, this has caused so much outrage. Like, naturally, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like, the day that murder doesn't cause outrage is a sad day. And I think that's what communities all around the world, especially in regards to the abuse that the United States puts upon other countries in need of the United States, right? I think that is always that's always sort of like the running narrative. Like, if you ain't got a problem with murder, then what, you know what I'm saying? What we all doing here, right? You know what I like about my voice being kind of raspy? As much as I really don't like it because it doesn't feel good, although it feels much better than Friday. Friday I had the chills. Friday I could not swallow, had the chills. Like, and I always did in the same way that you like lose something. I always be trying to pinpoint, where did I get sick? When was it? I was around my friend's baby, and I did keep cleaning the snot out his nose. But it's like, I'm really good at washing my hands and using hand sanitizer and all that type of stuff. But then one day, also last week, I was sitting outside working with a videographer. We were at a cafe outside. And I admit I did look cute, but LA is one of them places where the sun will be shining. So the sun will be shining so bright, and the trees will be green, and the birds will be chirping. And so when you step outside, you think like it's 80 degrees and like it's 52 degrees, Anyway. But what I really like about my voice sounding like a little bit raspy is that I low-key can sing. When my voice is raspy, I low-key can sing good. Like, because it sounds like that's a choice. It doesn't sound like, am I tone deaf? Still, sure. Do I be off rhythm? Probably, but it do sound like a sound. You know what I'm saying? It does sound like, who is that in the studio? So, what's happening in Minnesota, and the innocent U.S. citizens, innocent people, like, why would we have to even specify? That's what they do on the news, U.S. citizens, because they try to give this really awful and corrupt administration no way out of, like, what you gonna say about this? You can't say he an immigrant, you can't say he a criminal, you can't say this, you can't say that. And so they try to like identify all the things that would make you go, well, this person was not supposed to die. But it's like, even if it's a criminal not committing a crime at the moment ain't supposed to die. Somebody illegal just being detained ain't supposed to die. so naturally, I said naturally so many times. It's like, is it natural? Alex Pretty's death happened right at, like, very shortly after Renee Nicole Good's death. And these are two white people also. Alex Pretty is white and white appearing. You know, you got to be careful on the internet because somebody will leave a comment like, actually, right before he died, he took his 23andMe and he was 13% Nigerian. So we're going to talk about how much I hate the internet today. But as I talk on the internet, but it's so messed up, and it is causing a lot of outrage, justifiable outrage. And I think people, or I hear people wondering why Black people don't seem like so outraged, or like we're not really performative at this point in time. And if you are wondering like, why, you know, are the Black people not as outraged? It's not that we're not, and of course I can't speak for every Black person, but I feel like I can confidently say this just about the idea. It's not that we're not. We are outraged. We outraged every day. We are outraged every single day. We're just not surprised. Y'all are surprised. We're just not surprised. This is our reality every single day. Every single day. For years. Our reality is that no matter how much we ascend in life, how much wealth we acquire, how many social ladders we climb, how educated we become, who we marry, who we don't marry, who we live, that the color of our skin always puts a target on our back and always diminishes every single accomplishment that we have. And so we're just not surprised in the way that our Caucasian brothers and sisters are surprised, and seem to get surprised every time something like this happens. It's like, if you check out social media, all the Black people's like, it's like, I hate to say I told y'all, but see, we y'all always be like, no, the system. Y'all talk about the system is against y'all. Now the system, you see, it's not working for you either. I'm not editing none of this. You see, it's not working for you either. This is our reality every single day for decades in this country. The reality that some person claiming to be an enforcer of the law, a bringer of justice, is really just a low down, dirty criminal willing to take you out and lie about it, if it's in the interest of the system that they trying to put in place and or keep in place. Also, ain't nobody naive. This is not specific to Minnesota. Today and yesterday and tomorrow is Minnesota. But next week, it's going to be somewhere else. It's going to be somewhere else. And that does not diminish. It does not diminish the deaths. It does not diminish the deaths. And then you watch it. It's like, and the news, you see, they showing it. The news lately has been like, oh, we're going to, and just FYI, when we play this video, trigger warning, we're going to take out the sound because, you know, it's whatever, it might trigger some people, or we're going to cut to this part, but not with Alex Pretty. Alex Pretty, the news is playing it in all different angles and everything. And it's like they have to, because when the head of the Department of Justice gets on camera moments after, seconds after, and just blatantly lies. Oh, what was that? I hate I'm about to say I can't have no other teeth issues. I'm not editing any of this. I actually commend the people in Minnesota. I commend them, for protesting, for fighting, for trying to get ICE out of their streets, for fighting. They're. And I've seen people say this, like, no, we're not protesting. We are stopping an occupation of our street, and I really do commend them. But it's so hard. It's really, really a hard position to like sit here and like be like living through this and also not think, but like this is what y'all voted for. This is what America voted for. This. I remember my first episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try my best to be reasonable. My first episode after the election results of 2024. I remember them election results came in quick. Remember, I was surprised. I said, I didn't expect them to come in so quick. And I said, I was like joking because I was trying to keep it light because like I said, I hate the internet. I was trying to keep it light. But I was like, I'm going to start asking people when you in need and you in help and you find yourself on the other side of this system that you believed in, you find yourself on the other side. I'm going to start asking you who you voted for. Remember I said that, y'all? To what reasons who been here for a minute? Remember I said that? What did you need from me? But first, who did you vote for? And I kept it real light because I knew that was like going to be perceived as unreasonable. Hard truth. America voted for this. I was even like, at first, like, damn, I hate that this is happening in Minnesota too, because I know Minnesota, one of them states, they probably voted 97% for Kamala. I bet you Minnesota, one of them states. Because, in my mind, I was like, they got the gym teacher, Tim Walz, and, Minnesota used to be one of my favorite places. Contrary to what people think, I actually love going to Minnesota to perform. As much as I'm always there when it's freezing, I really do be liking to go to Minnesota to perform. My first time ever headlining was actually in Minnesota at the Mall of America. My first time ever headlining a club as a stand-up comic was in Minnesota. And I remember I was replacing, forgive me if I told this story in this podcast before, but I was replacing another comedian. I was replacing Alonzo Bowden. He had got into a motorcycle accident. And he got into a motorcycle accident like the night or 2 nights before he was supposed to headline that club. And we had the same touring agent at the time, although I had never toured before. And he was like, "Hey, take a chance on this girl," my touring agent. Take a chance on this girl. Take a chance on this girl. Like this is an artist that you want to help develop. And I remember I got there. This club probably seat like 350. I got there, it was like 6 people in the audience. And every 6 of them, as soon as I got on stage, I was like, thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I know that the club gave y'all the choice of like keeping your tickets or using them, when Alonzo returns, or using them for another act. And so the 6 of y'all that kept your tickets, thank you so much. And I tried to make a joke because at the time I had a shaved head. Alonzo Bowden has is bald. And so I tried to make a joke like, we do have that in common, right? And I'm new, like I don't even know if I could fill an hour of material, right? And I remember this guy, like little short white guy was in the audience, was one of the 6 people. And he just yelled out, he said, I don't know you and I didn't know him either. So let's have a good time. And we had a good time. But the other thing that I remember about my time there was these 2, maybe like my second show, because I got there, I had to do Wednesday through Sunday. So Wednesday 1 show, Thursday 1 show, Friday and Saturday 2 shows, and then Sunday 1 show. So I think 7 or 8 shows, right? And so I remember maybe my Thursday show, 2 hijabi girls was in the audience, like Somali hijabi girls. And they was cracking up laughing at me. And I remember then Friday came and it was like 70 people. A bunch of like from the Somali community. And because they have so large in Minnesota, right? And then by like my Saturday night, it was like packed. Like, it was like, and that was my first headlining experience. Also, Minnesota's one of those places, I ain't been to all of the state, but like the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul, they those type of cities where they got gluten-free restaurants, plant-based restaurants. Everything you need, they got. You need some fresh pressed juice. You need something to be, you know what I'm saying? You want like every restaurant that's going to have the good food that I like. It's like a woman is running for office. They say Black Lives Matter, gay rights matter. We got gluten free. We got almond milk. We got plant based. We you know what I'm saying? Like it's that type of place. So, contrary to what people think, I really be liking to come there. It's just I be there in the winter, and that is very hard because they be having freezing temperatures that make you question if the air just took your soul. Anywho, I was like, not Minnesota. And it's like, I probably say this about every state that ICE goes to because Trump is not sending ICE to red states. But I was like, not Minnesota. Like, Minnesota probably voted like 97% for Kamala. Then I went and looked. Minnesota actually surprised me. Trump got 1.5 million votes. He got 1.5 million votes. He ain't get none of the electoral college votes because Kamala won the state. But from the popular vote, he got 1.5 million votes. Kamala got 1.6. She got 1.65. She got 1.65. So 150,000 more votes than that surprised me. And then I'm just like, yeah, this is who America voted for. And I'm not saying, yeah, that's what you get. I ain't never saying that. Ever. Because it's like, no, that's not what you get. But this is what we get. This is what we collectively get. Trauma and chaos and misunderstanding and devastation. And then my white friends, my white brothers and sisters be looking at they black brothers and sisters like, this isn't supposed to happen. It's like, bitch, I know. I was telling you, don't you hate that? Don't you hate that when you talking to somebody and they like, did I tell you? And it's like, bitch, I told you. Can you believe I can? Because I told you. And then they kind of be stuck when you like, yeah, can you believe? Yeah. And then they can't say the next sentence. But they're white. So we can say the next sentence, but they're white. That's why you cannot believe it. Because they white. Because there's people of color dying by ICE also. And they not making the news and there's not protests and all of that. And that's America. That's been America forever. speaking of protests, there is a nationwide blackout. Let me see. I wrote it down. This is America. Don't catch you slipping up. Don't catch you slipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping. So there is a nationwide shutdown Friday, January 30th. That's this Friday, January 30th. There is a nationwide shutdown. Don't go to school. Don't go to work. Don't do any shopping. Especially don't do any shopping. I watched a video that said all these things like brands to avoid, like specific brands to avoid. And it was like, Minute Maid. All the brand. To be honest with you, it was hard for me not to click off the video because it's like after he said about 4 brands, I said, I don't use these brands anyway. But then I stayed for the video and he said Whole Foods. And I said, damn, I do be using Whole Foods. But he was like, they parent company. And I'm like, Amazon? Yeah, we know. But then the crazy thing is that he ain't say boycott Amazon. It was strange. Anyway, as I said, there is a nationwide shutdown this Friday, nationwide in the United States. A nationwide shutdown this Friday for the full day, January 30th, 2026. Don't go to work. Don't go to school. Don't do any shopping. Ice out everywhere. It's also funny. It's not funny. It's quite ridiculous, actually. Every time any sort of law enforcement tries to justify their reason for killing an unarmed person, a person that posed no threat to them, they always be like, I was scared, we were scared, he posed a threat, she posed a threat, they posed a threat. And it's like, well, since y'all so scary, maybe y'all shouldn't be doing the jobs. Maybe we got to give the ICE badges and the guns to YNs. They already got the Pooh Shiesty masks. Because the YNs ain't scared. So if it's about giving the power of enforcing the law to people who going to be out in the streets and they ain't scared, we got to give the badges to the YNs because they're not scared. They ain't about to just be shooting you just cause you they're not scared because they be in the streets every day. But I watched like a news special or something like that on how one particular town was hiring, like they moved a whole ICE center in a particular town. And they was hiring ICE agents. Let me tell you, the way they get an ICE agent, they the bottom of the barrel. And if you an ICE agent watching, or you know an ICE agent, they the bottom of the barrel of, I'm talking about in terms of qualifications. That's why we see the lack of like strategy. You get what I'm saying? That's why their strategy is just like chaos and enforcement and fear. Cause like they really don't have it's like the intellect is not there. ICE agent, every single, on this TV program that I watched, every single one of them was like, yeah, I tried to be a police officer, but they was like, no, you don't qualify. And it's not hard to be a police officer. I think you just got to not have like a bad record or no felonies and like a high school diploma. Like maybe you get a little bit extra if you got some college credits or something like that, but it's not a hard job to get. Not in terms of accolades and like, yeah, you might have to have like a certain level of physical fitness at first. The ICE agents was like, you don't even, in that particular town, they was like, you don't even have to have a GED. You don't have to have And it's like the irony, right? The irony that our president, our current president, this administration be like, if you a person of color, you not that smart. If you a DEI hire, then you not. But they literally, the people on the streets that are supposed to be patrolling the streets for undocumented and or illegal criminals. And we don't even know if they could read. We don't even know what their critical thinking skills are. It's like somebody cue Joe Clark. They can't even pass the minimum skills test.
Can't even get past the minimum basic skills test. That means they can hardly read.
But y'all gotta know, since the enslavement of African bodies on this soil, since the enslavement of African bodies on this soil, they have always also reprimanded and gone as far as killing white people who have aided anyone that is in opposition of their agenda. White people got killed too. Not a lot. But yeah. During slavery? Oh yeah. In this country? Yeah. Oh yeah, some of them got lynched too. For trying to help enslaved people get free? For sure. Oh, you a white lady in love with a black man and you trying to help his family be free? Oh yeah, we about to put you up on that tree with him too. In this country, y'all. As I said, this country voted. That's why I be seeing everybody talk about, and the Democrats that voted for this. What y'all talk about? The Democrats ain't got no power in the Congress, and they don't got no power. Because all he going to do is shut down the government, then SNAP benefits going to stop, and blah, 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 blah. And we seen this before. I'm not editing that out. Let me keep track of time because I do have Pilates. It's a new studio that I'm trying, actually. I used to go to a private Pilates studio, so I really like her. But you know, it was expensive. So till I get another job, I gotta cut back. I gotta cut back on the private Pilates and go with a group. I was watching that video. That poor video. Poor Alex Pretty. Man, may he rest in peace. But I was watching that video and I said, dang, these are some bum ass ICE agents before they even shot him. Cause I'm like, first of all, you're macing a woman. How nine of y'all having a hard time taking one person down? And then if you look at any of Alex Pretty seemed tall. He seemed tall, especially standing next to the ICE agent. I don't know how tall the ICE agent was, but he seemed like a tall man. But he a Minnesotan man. So Alex Pretty probably weigh 170 pounds at best. At best. That was a tall, skinny man. Why take 9 of y'all? That's why I know y'all can't even fight. Y'all cannot even fight. Y'all don't even have they didn't even train y'all. They didn't even train them before sending them out to do like basic moves, like wrestling 101. Like how it be taking 9 of y'all to get somebody down to the floor? How it's just, this is it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. This leading to Deaths. It's like, Alex pretty. He look like he eat. I mean, they show him like running marathons and stuff like that, right? But it look like he eat granola and fucking sprouts. You know? He look like somebody like that. You got a headache and he pull out some goddamn pumpkin seeds out a fucking knapsack or some shit. And they couldn't, and they shot him 10 times. But unfortunately, I'm not surprised. My condolences to, his family, their families, all the families whose family members are taken. They're in some detention center somewhere. They have not heard from their family member. You know what I'm saying? They don't know if they dead or alive. Simply because they in some immigration process. They not illegal or nothing. They just in a process. The bureaucratic process. Ugh. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Oh, and a lot of people are like, well, he was carrying a concealed firearm. It's like, yeah. Why offer the license for a concealed firearm if you can't conceal a firearm? Just because I have a concealed firearm does not mean that I'm a threat. No. People walk around in any state where it is legal to conceal, to carry and conceal. It's a lot of people walking around with firearms. A lot of people. And no incidents. He did not reach for his firearm. He just got a cell phone. I actually did a show way back when it came out in 2020. It came out during the pandemic. I did 100 Humans. We did a bunch of science experiments. Me, Sammy Obeid, and Ali Ward. And one of the experiments, one of the people, like I think like a podcast, a journalist, whatever. He interviewed us when we were like promoting that show. I believe he kind of tagged me in a video that I didn't repost because it was like untrue. But basically, like, he was like, hey, didn't y'all do this experiment on 100 humans, however many years ago, and we see how it turned out? And it's like, no, there was a clear racial element in the experiment that we did, which was the humans were supposed to go into a room and people popped up, and they popped up either holding a firearm or a cell phone, and you're supposed to shoot the person that has the firearm. And our experiment showed and proved that more often than not, they shot the unarmed black man with a cell phone and did not shoot the white guy with a firearm. And so when he tagged me in that video, like, didn't we see this? Like, no, we did not see that. This is not the same. This is a white man with a cell phone, and that's unfortunate, but this is not the same. Because even this outrage, well, I don't want to compare. I don't like to do that. I actually did watch a clip of my stand-up the other day, just randomly. I don't know what made this clip come across my phone screen or computer screen, but here's the clip.
If we had the opportunity to get rid of all the guns in the country, all the guns, the cops don't have guns, civilians don't have guns, would y'all be interested in that? No? No, you would still want a gun? Yeah. That's crazy, because when I asked who had guns, I only heard 4 black people talk, and it wasn't you. I asked a couple of questions. You tell on yourself. He like, I'm keeping my gun. I thought you didn't have one. You would want it if nobody else had guns, you would still want a gun? Why? Nah, yeah, but they don't got guns. That's the only reason why armed robbery is what it is. If somebody come up to you like, my man, give me your chain. My man, that's not scary. My man, give me, it's like, yeah, we about to fight for the chain. It's the gun is the scary part. If somebody got a bat, I'm going to take off running. I can outrun everybody with a. He got a bat, but I can't outrun a bullet. So.
Yeah, it's like I convinced that guy, right? But I do shows all around this nation, and I pose that question a lot. Would you give up your gun? If everybody gave up their gun, law enforcement, everybody gave up their gun. If we was out here living like the UK, if we was out here living like, you know what I'm saying? Like the only person we had was DCI Luther to solve a crime. Would you give your gun? Everybody say no. Especially the men. Some of the women too. But they say no. But it's crazy because like the part of what the Second Amendment, I think it is. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. Let's see. Yeah. Was supposed to be for the people to arm themselves in case the government became exactly what our government is, right? But then that's not happening. It's like the whole point is to stop a government from acting unjustly, to stop a government from, that's what they say. That's what they say the Second Amendment is for the people to arm themselves in case they need to protect themselves from the government. Ciao. Here's another hard truth. To all my international brothers and sisters, I can't speak for you every time. I'm so sorry. My friend just texted me and said, you crossed my mind. Hope you well, friend. A fellow comedian. I'll text him when I'm done. I can't speak for you every time. I'm so sorry. I cannot speak for everybody every time. I'm so sorry. But people read the comments. People read your comments. Sometimes it can't be Zainab speak about this. Sometimes it's just put the information in the comments. And it doesn't mean that I'm not empathetic. It doesn't mean that I'm ignoring, the people that you represent or the nations that are dear to you. It's just probably that my plate of problems is full. My plate of problems is full. It doesn't mean that what you want me to talk about is insignificant. It just means that you will have to speak for yourself. You'll have to speak for yourself on this particular day and every day, and like continue to speak for yourself until I can join you and echo what you're saying. I was asked to speak about Iran because, there's a lot happening in Iran. There's a lot happening in Iran. But I was asked there was a comment that says, Zainab, please talk about what's happening in Iran. And I said, what you want me to say? And the reason why I said that is because honestly, I ain't really aware. I ain't really aware. Like, I'm not really versed on what's happening in Iran. And because there's so much chaos, in my immediate surroundings, there's so much chaos. I haven't had the space to be like, okay, let me see if there's something that some call to action. Let me see if I could understand and then in some way have a call to action, right? Because that's always the point. Because if you just need to know that I'm like empathetic or care, what I have to say is that always, I never want people to die. I never want good people to die. I never want good, innocent people to die, be abused, be disenfranchised, be hungry, be poor, I never want that. Enslaved, I never want that. Oppressed, I never want that. Killed, I never want that. Erased, I never want that. Ever. Even if I don't say it on the day you need to hear it, just know that is my default setting for everybody in the world. Everybody. But I say, you know what? Let me try to understand. Let me take this and try to understand. So I went to Amnesty International. I started reading these articles about, because I feel like they was like the most up to date. Like they just kept updating. You know, it wasn't sort of like trendy or topical. Like every day they are updating, you know what I'm saying, what's going on in Iran. And so according to amnesty.org, protests erupted and you guys can read this. Amnesty Iran, if you just search what's happening in Iran, you'll see amnesty.org will come up and you'll be able to read what's happening in Iran, read about what's happening in Iran. But on December 28th, 2025, protests erupted in Iran and people in the country were they have been outraged because there is like basically political corruption, repression, lack of human rights, all of that type of stuff has been going on for decades in Iran, apparently, right? And they got tired of it. And I'm sure that it was because very recently the economy dipped, like really, really dipped in Iran. But you see, I don't even want to. Let me stop acting like I know, because I don't. So protests erupted on the 28th of December. People across the country, outraged that decades of repression, were demanding fundamental change in political systems that respect human rights and dignity. Iranian authorities have responded with an unprecedented, deadly crackdown and, since January 8th of this year, cut all internet access to conceal their crimes. Security forces have used unlawful force, firearms, and prohibited weapons against protesters, which resulted in mass killings and serious injuries. Why are people protesting? The protests began on, there was a sharp collapse in Iran's currency. This happened amid soaring inflation, state mismanagement, and essential services and worsening living conditions. The protest started when the shopkeepers in the Tehran Grand Bazaar going on strike and closing shops. Then it sort of spread like nationwide. And then it'll take you through like how the cost of living crisis in Iran impacts human rights, social and cultural rights, right? So like this is some, okay. So when people are in a place governed by, with a government that does not care, that all of their natural resources and the things that provide for their livelihoods are collapsing, they're naturally going to rise up against the government, right? And what Iran is doing, what the government of Iran is doing is trying to silence it. Same as what our government is doing. And so as I read this, it's like this sounds, aside from the actual death count, right? Like aside from like the mass shootings and like the mass, it sounds so familiar. Look, senior state officials labeled protesters as rioters and vowed a firm crackdown. I mean, like, this sounds the same. Security forces responded with lethal force to disperse protesters, unlawfully using force, firearms, and prohibiting weapons. And exactly what they took the internet away for 12 days, exactly what they're trying to do with, you see how they tried to take Jimmy Kimmel off it's like it's all the same thing. Now, maybe the people, the leader, the people who govern Iran maybe can do it more easily to their citizens than it can be done to a nation like the United States. But I mean, they're all trying the same thing, which is to have power and control over all the people. And so the people get nothing and they get everything and get to do what they want. This is everywhere. And that's not like a lack of empathy for Iran at all. It's just that I think, okay. So, when I said, what would you like me to say to, this is a reason too. This is not like a person who was just listening to the podcast and decided to like this is probably I'm sure a very reasonable person. And I talk about this whenever I have to talk about tragedy that's happening in the world, is that people want to feel seen and heard. And sometimes you think that is somebody else speaking for you. And it's like, you just got to speak for yourself. You just got to speak for yourself. You got to speak for yourself. So when I said, what would you like me to say? They said, things that you were emphatically and emotionally expressed about Gaza and Sudan, which is not a great way to start a sentence. Because it immediately, and I know this person ain't even mean it like this. But it immediately we start playing like the tragedy Olympics, the diversity Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Whose problem is greater? Whose problem should get more attention? Whose problem? And then I'm not saying at all, don't ask for this. I'm just saying I may have never seen your comment. Gratefully, I saw your comment, but I may have never seen your comment. But a lot of people will see your comment. So just put the information in. And then she puts the information. The internet has been cut off for 12 plus days in Iran, where the government has carried out a genocide, murdering 16,000 plus, mostly young protesters, peacefully trying to get basic human rights. The U.S. has the highest population of Iranians in the diaspora. L.A. is known for Tehrangeles. She's in Australia, though. Now, I hate to break it to you, baby girl. You telling me stuff that ain't got nothing to do, it doesn't help. I get, because I live in Los Angeles. And I know that Tehran is the capital of Iran. And I don't even know where I don't even know where Iranian people live in Los Angeles. I have no idea. Sometimes I see the Iranian Muslims when I go to the masjid, but that's it. Maybe I'll meet one or two at my show, but I don't know where Tehrangeles is. But I looked it up. And guess what? Guess who the Iranian community overwhelmingly voted for in 2024. I said this episode was going to be hard truths. Guess who they voted for overwhelmingly? Because they actually thought that Trump would help bring human rights to their country. It's protest about the tyranny has been happening all over the world. Yeah, I know. It was on the news for a little bit until something more immediate and close. This is the news cycle. It's painful being in the diaspora, unable to visit your fatherland, seeing this unfold without the attention and outrage that was so readily poured out for Gaza and Ukraine. First of all, girl, I don't know if you remember, but okay, context, right? So this sucks. But from what I understand, and feel free to correct me in the comments, from what I understand, as tragic as it is, what's happening in Iran is actually like Iranian based, right? Like, I know about the oil. I know why it is in the interest of the United States to have Iran be crippled. I know that. I know that Israel has threatened to launch attacks at Iran. I know all of those things, right? But it is not another force, right? As of yet, going into because I want to be really like I don't want to be like very truthful to it all. I also know that our current president very recently, since he's been in office, but also more recently has put like so many like harsh restrictions and tariffs and bans on Iran, which is what helped cause a collapse in the currency. I do know that. And so protests are like that. Yeah, that's what has to happen. And it's awful. It's awful for a country to be able to kill 16,000 of their citizens when the citizens are like, y'all, you starving us out. You making it unbearable to be here, and now we in a position in every other part of the world where we can't even get nowhere better. I don't know if you remember with Ukraine. I think a lot of people, I'll talk about me. Every single time I ever talk about Ukraine, I'll be like, and y'all know, I ain't got no dog in the fight, right? Except human rights. And so it was like this bully ass, big ass country, Russia, and they goddamn dictator Putin, right? Going into tiny little Ukraine and bothering them, right? And we was like, that ain't right. And then we saw those videos of white Ukrainians kicking when they were trying to flee areas that were being attacked by Russian forces. When we saw them kicking those Ukrainian, those Africans that were in, those dark skin, those melanated people off the train when they was trying to get away, guess what happened? We said, oh no, Ukraine, you're on your own. If Palestinians was in Gaza killing each other, this would not be the same thing. And I'm not justifying it, but I used to say this when people would be sending me all types of messages about Gaza. You gotta speak up for Gaza. You gotta speak up for Gaza. You gotta speak up for Gaza. You gotta say, you say something, because they think you gonna say what they think you gonna say what they want to hear. So even when you said, please talk about what's happening in Iran, it's like you think their assumption is she gonna say exactly what I want her to say. But I'm saying you just gotta say it. You just gotta say it. You just have to say it. You can't rely on me. I do a bit in my stand-up about a possum. Everybody knows it if you see me. I've done this possum bit. And the whole time you think it's about a possum, and it's not. It's not. It's about this very thing we talking about. It can't all be on my shoulders every single time. It can't. It can't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But it can't. Delroy Lindo got nominated for an Oscar. I think he's like 73 years old, first time in his career. I believe I think it's his first time he got nominated for an Oscar, and that brought me so much joy. Sinners, actually, the movie got nominated 16 Oscars. They were nominated for in 16 different categories. Tiana Taylor was nominated for an Oscar. But Delroy Lindo made me really, that brought me so much joy. And the reason why it brought me so much joy is because I think that there is this overconsumption or overappreciation for youth, or there's this rush to do things at a certain time. It only matters if you do things at a certain time. And it's like Delroy Lindo has worked and worked and worked and worked. And he was phenomenal in Sinners. That is a supporting act. You know what I'm saying? Like when Delroy Lindo was on screen in Sinners, I could not take my eyes off of him. And to be honest with you, I don't think I ever seen Delroy Lindo in anything other than a Spike Lee joint. I know his resume is long. First time I ever saw it, I know he used to do theater, probably before I was born. But I'm sure before I was born. But my first time ever seeing Delroy Lindo was in the Spike Lee joint, Crooklyn. Let me tell you something. The way my mom used to make us watch Crooklyn. Oh, you think we about to watch Full House? No, we not. You think we about to you think we about to watch the Brady Bunch? I don't even know. The Brady Bunch never came on in my house. I don't know what. I think I only ever saw the movie and then I realized it was a show or something like that. But the way my mom used to have us watching Crooklyn, and I loved Crooklyn. Oh, I loved Crooklyn. They lived in that brownstone in Brooklyn. The father was Delroy Lindo. The mama was Alfre Woodard. Like, oh my God, the little girl. And that's what I used to love about Spike Lee movies. He would always introduce a new, like an ingenue. He would always be introducing laying some new talent to us. And that's how he would put them in the credits, introducing this person who will be a star after this. I used to love that. I was so, so happy when I heard that. The Delroy Lindo was, whether he wins or not, I don't have a lot of stock in. It's so hard to buy into anything that is, it's so hard to buy, as much as you play in the game of white supremacy, it's hard to buy into anything that services that, you know what I'm saying? So, but if at some point in my career, they and nominated as Zainab Johnson, the battery ran out, so I had to change it, which means this episode is officially too long. But I'll say this and then I'll leave. I would like to offer all of you that accessing joy. When I thought about, or when I accepted how much, or acknowledged rather, how much joy hearing that Delroy Lindo was nominated for an Academy Award, I was like, yeah, we got to lean into joy during all of this chaos, during all of this unrest, during all of this tragedy. We have to really, really also be very intentional about accessing joy. And then I was just thinking about all of the things that bring me joy. One, I started listening to these mantra loops. I actually met this woman I was walking one morning, maybe like a week or so ago. And she was walking like her pit bull, and she was like, "Are you the comedian, Zainab?" And she was like, "I follow you, like I love you." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "Send me a message so that I know, like, so that we could like connect. Send me a message on like social media." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm a singer." And I was like, "Oh," she was like, I'll send you my music." And what she sent me was like this like mantras loop. And so basically she's like singing a bunch of mantras, beautiful voice, wonderful, like, music, like instrument accompaniment, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just great, but it was all mantras. And I ran to it. At first I was going to drive. I had to like take a drive to do a show or something like that. And I was going to drive, but then I don't know, for some reason I needed like hype music. You know what I'm saying? I needed like, or maybe I was trying to go over a set. I can't remember. But then the next morning, I had ran to it, and it was so wonderful. I said, "Oh, this is how I need to start my morning." I'll include the links to what I've been listening to in the chat so that you guys can check it out as well. But also, there's this song by this artist. Her name is Charity. She's a girl out of Detroit. And it's called Warm and Soft. And let me just say my show dates right now, because I'm gonna add this song. I'm gonna add this song so y'all can hear it, but it might either get like, they might not let me post it in this video. YouTube might flag it because she's obviously an artist and needs to make money and all of that stuff. But it brings me so much joy. It's like, get this girl a Grammy, make this girl a star immediately. Her name is Charity. It's called Warm and Soft. And you see, even when I'm talking about it, and it ain't even a hype song, it's a love song. It's like kind of a sad love song. Yesterday, I went to get some ramen, and I was singing it, and it was making me think about America. But it's not about America. But, with love and like tragedy and like disappointment, you can apply that to any sort of circumstance. It don't always got to be to a person, Anyway, I just love the song so much. That's what I've been listening to. But let me say my show dates. So this weekend, I will be coming to Charlotte, North Carolina. I know it's supposed to snow a little bit, but I'm going to be there. So y'all need to come out. I think the VIP tickets are already sold out. The like VIP seating tickets are already sold out. So get all other tickets, please. But that is this weekend, Saturday, January 31st, and then Sunday, February 1st. One show each night. Make sure you guys get those tickets. And then the following weekend, I will be in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Raleigh Improv. That is February 6th and February 7th. That's a Friday and a Saturday. Then Valentine's Day weekend, February 13th through the 15th, I will be in Pittsburgh. February 19th, Indianapolis. February 20th through the 22nd, Chicago. I appreciate all of my Muslimas that have been hitting me up like, "Girl, are you coming to an iftar? Are you going to be in Chicago? Are you coming to an iftar?" Because Ramadan would have just started right before that show, that right before that day. And I'm like, I'd love to, but also I got shows, y'all. So let's figure this out, inshallah. But so that's February 20th through the 22nd in Chicago. March 26th through April 5th, I will be in Melbourne, Australia. May 30th, Atlanta, Georgia. June 6th, Washington, D.C. Everybody that's been asking me about those Washington, D.C. tickets, I want y'all to get the tickets. I need y'all to get the tickets. I can't wait to see y'all June 6th. I will be at the Howard Theater, right? But the tickets go on sale via Live Nation. They go on sale February 16th. I think that's like President's Day or something like that. That's when they go on sale. I was under the assumption that they was going to be on sale last week. But then my agents was like, well, no, they want to do blah, 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 whatever. So February 16th is when those Washington, D.C. tickets will be on sale. That is June 6th, one night only, 2 shows, Howard Theater. Then June 11th, I will be in St. Louis, Missouri. June 26th through the 28th, I will be in Tempe, Arizona. Those tickets are not on sale yet either, but they are coming soon. And then way in October, I'm sure I'll be in like Columbus, Ohio or something like that. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, go ahead, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. If you at this point in the podcast, you ain't hit the subscribe button. It's like, Give it a thumbs up, like, share it, all of that good stuff. It goes a long way. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Everybody that has ordered the I'm Reasonable t-shirts, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think it's like a few more, like, I don't know, like 6 or something like that. But you'll see the sizes and colors that are sold out, whatever. But I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Always be reasonable, stay reasonable. And yeah, okay, here's the song. I should have had it queued up. I didn't. But let's see. This girl, I be having this song on repeat. It's crazy too, because if I'm heartbroken, I don't listen to songs like this. Like, I only listen to songs like this when I'm really like feeling joy, which is crazy. When I'm heartbroken, I be listening to I'm listening to Lil Wayne. A milli, you know what I'm saying? Like, here. I need some ego music. You know what I'm saying? I'm heartbroken. I'm listening to, you know what I'm saying? I got a big ego. And such a big ego. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't about to have you just have me. I'm sad, and now I gotta rediscover who I am. And so I need my hip hop boys and girls to like get me. You know what I'm saying? Like, who? What? I'm the best of the best of the best. But when I be just happy, I listen kind of to sad music. It's weird. But here she go. It might get cut off, y'all. It might get cut off. So if it gets cut off, you look it up for yourself. Charity, Warm and Soft.
I thought you'd call by now. I swore I'd cross your mind. You'd realize the blunder, leaving me behind. I thought everyone else's touch would just remind you of mine. I thought when the rain fell,
You let me inside.
thought someone
Would love me the way you refuse to.
heartbreak wasn't something
I needed to get used to.
thought love would be easy.
Easier to find.
Thought love would be gentle.
I thought it would be kind.
Now I'm trying to stay warm and soft, but
It's cold and it's dark.
don't wanna let
The worst parts of you take the best parts of my heart. I wanna.
keep feeling. I wanna feel something nice.
All love is time you love me right. All love is time you love me right.
I wanna breathe out.
I need
Get some rest.
this the bar, watch.
Lay my face down.
On your chest. I wanna feel.
Feel all the parts of me that they stole.
Right here.
I wanna slow dance.
Somebody's soul.
I'm trying, Lord knows I'm trying. Stay warm and soft, but it's cold and it's dark. Don't wanna let the worst parts of you
Still the best parts of my heart. I wanna
keep feeling. I wanna feel
something nice.
your love is.
It's time you treat me. I always be messing up the words.
Your love is.
It's time you love me right. Gotta love me right. Gotta love me. Gotta love me